Supporting a game as a service certainly has its challenges, but making sure you fix critical bugs and exploits is a pretty crucial part of it. They don't seem to want to fix one specific exploit in their game. Oh no. Instead, they're taking a very different approach. They're banning players who complain about it. Well, that's one way to do it.
Meshing is a technique used to exploit the game in Ark Survival Evolved. Put simply, it's the act of glitching through a wall or gaining access to the mesh outside of the regular map, allowing them to attack and destroy enemy bases easily by bypassing their defenses. There are many techniques used in order to gain access to the mesh. Using a chair right up close to the wall, using narcotics to knock yourself out before logging out and back in, and climbing through tiny holes in the terrain using climbing picks. It's something you've been able to do in Ark Survival Evolved pretty much since the launch of the game back in 2017. Prominent Ark YouTuber Hod Gaming decided to make a video detailing the methods of accessing the mesh in a video posted on YouTube on Tuesday. The aim of the video was to raise awareness for the glitch, having been the victim of meshing on numerous occasions, including when his base was attacked using the meshing technique recently, where he lost hours and hours of work in the process.
He made many recommendations in the video on ways to fix the game in order to stop people from meshing and ruining the game for other players. Recommendations such as removing items like the chair, narcotics and climbing picks from PvP mode, as well as a bunch of other helpful suggestions. In response to the video, Wildcard Studios did what any respectable games development studio would do in this situation, and they fixed the game. Oh no, wait, hang on a minute.
Hey, wait a minute.
They didn't do that at all. Instead, they issued Hard Gaming with a global ban from playing Ark. So this guy's been griefed 3 times now. It's like the 3rd time. His base gets meshed, attacked by circumventing the defenses. He gets angry, does what anyone else would do, is he's like, makes this video, this is what's happening, this is the problem, this is how you can fix it. And instead of fixing the game on this exploit that's been in the game for almost 2 years since it launched, they ban him from playing the game because he's raising awareness of it. That's not right. That's not how you do it. He's one of the more prominent members of the community, generating content on your bloody game, being a point of, of the community getting together and appreciating their game by his videos. It doesn't make sense. How the fuck does that make sense?
You've told us what we're doing is wrong, so instead of actually fixing it, we're going to silence you and stop you from ever playing the game.
It's like he was the problem. He's the one causing this.
It's not me. It is you.
It's not you, it's me. No, actually, it's not me. It is you.
What Wildcard Studios hadn't realised is that this is the internet, and trying to hide something usually doesn't work. Because one thing that the internet will not accept is people trying to cover up their own incompetence. Hod Gaming went back to YouTube and posted a video explaining why he was globally banned. The video now has over 330,000 views. In the video, he said,
"I believe it's highly unethical of Wildcard to ban me for exposing massive flaws in their game that are making players lose thousands of hours of work daily. It's a toxic community, a toxic game community to be a part of at the moment. And it's not the players' fault, it's the developers' fault. And they need to fix these things and take notice of what us as a community says."
In the same way as you can't suck up a fart that you've just let rip, Wildcard Studios realised that they couldn't contain the spread of their stench any longer. They unbanned Hod Gaming on Wednesday and addressed the issue in a blog post on their community forums. Lead community manager Cedric wrote, "Upon further review of the situation involving Hod Gaming, we felt that it was not deserving of a permanent ban. There are established methods for escalating exploits to the development team that exist to prevent the spread of information to the general public. The more widely known an exploit is, the more likely it is to be exploited. In these instances, you should file your report on the Survive the Ark website. We want to make sure that everyone can enjoy their experience on our official network and will continue to take exploit matters seriously." So like a child who gets caught with their hands in the cookie jar, Wildcard blamed the issue on the guy who ratted them out, instead of accepting responsibility for their broken game. Hey Wildcard, how about fixing your bloody broken game instead of punishing community members for highlighting the issue? It's like they think the problem here is people knowing about the glitch.
Yeah.
Like that's not the issue.
It's like you've cheated on someone. and then you're blaming them. It's like, I cheated on you, but it's your fault.
You found out about it.
Yeah.
It's your fault. You found out about it. It would have been all right if it wasn't for those pesky kids.
You shouldn't have looked through all of those sexy messages on my phone that I've been sending to other people.
Yeah,
like,
it totally is. Like, it's embarrassing, is what this is. And for a development studio, all right, they started off kind of indie. They've seen big success with this game. They should be supporting it properly. And for PvP players who are playing the game, all the time, putting all these hours of effort in and building bases and stuff, they just can't defend themselves in the way that the game was designed, because people are glitching through walls and ruining their base and destroying stuff that could take them ages. It isn't hard gaming's fault. All right, you've unbanned him now, but like in the words of the community manager there, it just seems like they think it's his fault, or they seem like raising awareness of the glitch is the problem, right? That's not the problem. The broken game is the problem. Fix the broken game. You don't have a problem here. And as Hard raises the point too, is that this is allowing toxic players to propagate in the game. It's like your game is going to be a horrible place to be for the majority of honest players if you're allowing these glitches and people who want to use the exploits to carry on the way they're doing. It doesn't make any sense. Just fix the game. And Hot Gaming has also made a change.org petition in which he's trying to gather people signatures to highlight the problem, get people on board to highlight the issue, and to get Wildcard to stop sitting on their hands, essentially. And there's so many recommendations on how to fix this glitch, this bug, or how to minimize it, that they just haven't listened to. I just don't know what's going on in their tiny little brains.
Just pull your finger out and do it.
Yeah. It's just awful. It just really is awful from a game design perspective. It's supposed to be games as a service. You're supposed to be improving things as you go along. Maybe they have made improvements. I mean, we haven't looked into that, but the fact remains that you can still exploit and totally decimate someone's base by using the exploit. It's not good enough, right? If people are playing your game and spending money on your game and they're not allowed to enjoy it the way it was designed, it's broken. It is broken, and fix it. And don't blame people for highlighting the issue. I don't know. It's wrong. It's wrong in my eyes.
But now, enough of that quite negative story, let's go on to your Friday news nuggets. Monolith Soft, the developer behind Xenoblade Chronicles, is hiring for work on a new Legend of Zelda game. The studio has worked on Breath of the Wild, so a sequel is possible, but it could also be something brand new.
The Division 2 already had way more content than Anthem, and soon it'll be getting even more. Fans can look forward to an update coming on April the 5th called Tidal Basin, which will be adding a new Stronghold mission with 3 new gear sets: True Patriot, Hardwired, and Ongoing Directive.
Ubisoft has officially added their name to the guest list at E3 2019. We can probably expect to see the next annual iteration of the Assassin's Creed franchise, possibly a Watch Dogs 3 announcement, but I'd personally love to see a new Splinter Cell.
The PS Plus games for February have been announced. Members will get access to the Dark Souls Gone sci-fi game called The Surge, as well as the prehistoric survival game Conan Exiles.
At PAX East this week, a new Borderlands game was teased on Wednesday with a CGI trailer, and then yesterday we got an official trailer revealing Borderlands 3.
In more Borderlands related news, the first game in the series is being remastered for release on consoles and PC. It's coming very soon on April the 3rd and will feature all add-on packs, substantial visual improvements, and the addition of a mini-map and shift codes. Did you see the announcement? Randy Pitchford on stage giving it all. He did a magic trick and announced all. Oh god, it was he's an odd
guy.
Spent a whole hour talking about Borderlands 3 and hyping the whole thing up before showing the trailer. It was pretty a waste of time. I'll put it that way.
Do you reckon he left incriminating files on a memory stick again with a weird cam girl footage?
Yeah, enough said about that.
Yeah. Another beloved but criminally underrated Gearbox FPS is getting resurrected. Bulletstorm is being ported to the Nintendo Switch this summer with all DLC and the addition of the Duke Nukem playable character.
Aside from Days Gone, one of Sony's only other major exclusives this year is Dreams. And it was announced that Dreams will be going into early access on April the 16th.
If you're a fan of Twitch and Nintendo, you might want to consider subscribing to Twitch Prime. In addition to the usual things you'll get from a Twitch Prime membership, you can now also get 12 months free of Nintendo Online, including all of its features.
And that applies to Amazon Prime members too, because if you're an Amazon Prime member, you get Twitch Prime for free. And if you got Twitch Prime, you can get Nintendo Online for free. The 2016 2D indie RPG Hyperlight Drifter by Heart Machine is getting its own animated series on Netflix. It's being worked on by Adi Shankar, who produced Netflix's Castlevania series and is also working on a Devil May Cry series.
Classic horror film fans can now play as the iconic Ash Williams from the Evil Dead franchise in Dead by Daylight. He will be donning his Ash vs. Evil Dead look as a playable character in the multiplayer survival horror game.
Despite general downturn in annual earnings and layoffs in the industry, CD Projekt have announced plans to expand their offices and employ 250 to 300 new employees. We spoke more about this in our podcast that you can watch on Sunday, or it's available on early access to patrons right now. For those of you who do want to support us on Patreon, head over to patreon.com/prettygoodgaming and you will get early access to the podcast that you can listen to days in advance of everyone else, and go check out all the other rewards you can get in return for helping us bring you this content on YouTube. And for everyone who does support us on Patreon, much gratitude. Thank you.
Now, after all those nuggets, it's time for the joke. Now, this comes in from the Discord, which you get access to via Patreon, and is coming from Tons. He's a regular joke supplier in the old Tons.
I'm bracing myself. Hit me.
My 3 favourite things are eating my family and not using commas. Yeah, he's got to hang for a little.
Got it. It's the way you said it. You said it right.
Yeah.
Eating my family in commas. Got you. Not using commas. Funny. It's funny. Nice one, Tons.
And your final story of today. It's common practice in the industry these days to show off fantastic game graphics in pre-release material, but by the time the games roll out, they are far from what we're led to believe was in the game. Well, one upcoming game may actually be bucking the trend and taking things in the opposite direction. Sony Bend Studios' post-apocalyptic open-world survival game Days Gone is Sony's biggest confirmed 2019 game release. According to a video by Saiku1, shared by Push Square, the game has been drastically upgraded in the time between the first trailers being shown off and the latest marketing material. The video compares the different footage we've seen over the past few years. We can see that there have been some artistic changes, like the placement of road signs, patches on the protagonist's jacket, and different lighting effects. Strangely, the 2018 footage actually looks the worst in most cases, so it looks like that delay from February to April was a big help. When the game was first revealed back in 2016, the game was obviously still in development and would progress over time. Now, I say obviously, but so many AAA games seem to forget that. Just take Anthem, for example. That game is massively different to what was shown at its own debut. Ubisoft as a whole are also terrible for downgrades. Just look at The Division and Watch Dogs. Seeing that Days Gone has gone through the natural graphical progression that we expect from video games is reassuring. It suggests that this is a game being built from the ground up to run properly, and that it won't need to be fixed post-launch. Again, look at Anthem. Now, that does not mean the game will definitely run perfectly at launch, and the game will likely have its own issues to overcome. The game could still look very different when it fully launches, and we won't know until we actually get to see some real gameplay. But this perceived upgrade is a good sign for a game being built properly, not oversold to consumers at the start before yanking the rug out from under them. So we don't know for sure if it has been upgraded, and I think that's quite a bold term, but it definitely looks good, and it looks like it's improved from when we first seen it, and that's the right way round. So many times with games like Anthem and the original Division, we see really good looking stuff, but then it ends up not looking as good. This has done it the correct way around, and it doesn't look as good, and now does look good.
Looks better, yeah. I think mis-selling a product is one of the biggest problems with the industry, as well as not fixing bloody broken games, let's be honest. But so far as Sony Bend Studios and what they've done here, it's honest, right? The game was in this state, the game was in that state, the game is now in that state. There's no trying to upsell here, there's no trying to pull the wool over the consumers, trying to sell you a different product or trying to market a game that looks differently in the advertising material compared with what the final game is. This is great, this is how it should be done. And all credit to Sony Bend Studios for doing it like that.
They've shown off so much, they've been quietly confident, I think, by showing stuff, knowing that it's not quite perfect, that they weren't like, this is already looking amazing. They were like, well, no, there's some work to do, we're changing these things, and now they've put it into practice from what we can see. Well, obviously we don't know. It just screams like it's being built like a proper game.
Yeah, Well, we'll have to wait and see. It's only a few weeks.
Exactly.
It's only a few
It's
weeks
not
now.
long, not long.
I mean, I'll definitely pick it up. It's definitely my type of game. So,
Yeah.
so that's it for your Friday gaming news roundup video. We've done Monday, Wednesday, and Friday this week in our Monday, Wednesday, and Friday gaming news roundup videos because that's what it's called. It's the Monday, Wednesday, Friday gaming roundup news videos. So we'll be back again next week on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for another bunch of roundup videos. I think I thrusted that home enough.
Do you want to breathe?
That's it until Monday, guys. I hope you enjoy your weekends. We will see you then. Bye for now. I'm pretty sure I can make do without decent boobs, but I can't make do without a juicy butt.
That's what I'm talking about. A white girl with a black girl's ass. I'm taking that home to mama.